Day 169. I don't know how that happened, but I just slept for 12 hours, man. I went to bed somewhere near 6 o'clock last night. It's a little after 6 a.m. now. Whoops. Guess I needed that, man. Oh, I have felt pretty exhausted. Road walking takes it out of you, man. It does. Mentally and physically. Today I should be able to make it into Del Norte. 'Tis the goal. Less than 20 miles down the road, no problem. There's even a little shortcut. I can make it shorter. Oh, and I will. Oh, I needed that, man. For just sleeping on the ground, I'm not sleeping on much. No air pad or anything, just a little ass pad, but I'm sleeping pretty comfortably right now. Did not expect it. Well, I feel pretty good. Let's go for a walk. Beautiful morning. Of course it's cold, but it's Colorado, but it's not as cold. The road is traveled. It hasn't been real busy. 4 or 5 cars in the past hour. Actually, they sounded more like side-by-sides. It is a dirt road. I kind of ate too much over the past few days. Luckily, I got that breakfast in town the other day, or I'd probably be out. But I'm down to like 3 snackies. 2 of them being little packets of those fruit gummies, Welch's. And a chewy bar. But I still have a tuna packet and a quarter of a jar of peanut butter. Maybe even a third. So I'll definitely make it. But yeah, I've been eating a lot. More than I anticipated. But luckily there's a town every few miles. How you doing? Can I pet your nose? I know. I smell weird. I don't have nothing to give you or anything, but I want to touch your nose anyway. It looks very velvety. No. Well, thanks for coming over and saying hi. One more time. One more time. Yeah, you're like, nah, you smell weird. Don't blame you. It's a fact. Good morning, horses. You're curious about me. Still following along. But I just smell too weird to be allowed to touch them. We got to a slightly more open area and I was allowed to touch the nose. I know. Guess scratch your chin? No, that's not happening. So I'm trying to find something that looks like an elephant, but I am hard pressed. See nothing that looks like an elephant. Del Norte, 1 mile. Good, because I really got to poo. There's just been no place to go. It's been super exposed. And I'm like, I can hold it till the subway, because that's where I'm headed. Get me a sandwich and blow the bathroom up. I hope I can make it that far. A mile's a really long way to go when you gotta go. And it's more than just a mile to the subway, so. Slow speed race. Del Norte has a nice little park here. Little stage. no power that I can get to. There's outlets way up high, and yeah, I could climb those to get up there, but nah, I'm not gonna do it. But I found outlets underneath the power box. I am going to take the chance and leave them here while I run around town, do my thing, and then come back and pick them up. It's a little out of the way, but it's only a half-mile away from the main street, so I'm gonna take that chance. There's very little action here. Hopefully nobody jacks my batteries. Very contradictory signs here. Notice, we are watching you. Our water is not free. Stealing water is illegal. Where they have water constantly running because it can't shut off over here. My water for RV is free. Is it or is it not? You really don't see memorials like this. He camped on his disastrous attempt to cross the mountains. And they have two big stone wheels. I don't know what those are about. Well, it looks like some weather might be moving in. Subway was delicious. I splurged and got a cookie too. Nom, 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 nom. I have about 100 miles to do before the border, which is actually like the longest stretch I've done in a while. I think other than that it was like 75, 80 miles. But you know, that was just road walking. This is still road walking. Oh my kid. I think there's a little bit of trail in there. It looks like it, but it still looks like a lot of road walking. Hope it doesn't rain though, man. You know, I don't like walking in the water, and my electronics are slightly exposed right now. I'm gonna go over, get my resupply, head back to my electronics, and decide if I want to hide for a while, see if this passes. I got service, I'll check the weather. His nose is fogged up the glass. What's up, puppy? That's comical. Oh, I'm skipping the resupply for now. Rain looks likely, and I don't want to take too much of a chance. I'm already leaving my electronics out to be stolen. Definitely don't want to leave them out in the elements. So I'm going to go back and hang out with them for a little while, and then hopefully this passes over, then resupply and get out of Dodge. See how well that plan works. Yeah, I think my instincts were right. Come back and protect my stuff. I have bagel bags that I keep because it's really good to store your electronics in when they're charging. Just put them in the bag, run the bag over your cable and everything. So they should be all watertight over there. And I'm just going to kick it in this gazebo here. And not be out in that. Oh, this whole thing shakes with the wind. Well, that family was getting out of here because, you know, storm's coming in. But they came over and gave me the rest of their stuff. She's like, there's Uncrustables and some juice and some fruit and all sorts of stuff in there. I was mighty kind because I was making sure not to look at them because I know families don't want a creepy guy looking like me looking at them. So I was doing my best not to do eye contact or anything, yeah. And they came over to help me. How kind. I'm just going to sit and ride this out. It looks way worse around the corner. Ugh. And this is the direction it's coming from. So yeah, glad I decided to abandon the resupply plan. Oh, wasn't this special? It isn't just their leftover stuff. This is something they prepared for me. One soda, there's a cookie in there, an apple, an Uncrustable, and a thing of chips. Like, this was prepared for me. And they don't know I'm a hiker. They don't know anything about hiking. Well, not that I know of. They just thought I was somebody in need of stuff. It was really nice. you doing? That's my subway. I used oats to lure him in. Even gave him a sliver of almond. Oh, but that's not what he's going for. See if I can get him to eat out of my hand a little later. Hey, don't bite the finger. Well, I don't want rabies. You can just have them. I don't know you're going to try to nibble my finger, man. He's flexing at me now. I'm sorry I scared you. You scared me too, man. I didn't expect you to put my finger in your mouth. At least you didn't bite me. That lady let the dog off the leash, threw the ball, and it grabbed the ball and brought it all the way up the stairs. It didn't give me the ball, but it shook off on me because he's all wet. But super friendly, happy dog. It's nice. Getting all the animal love just sitting right here doing nothing. I think I'm going to go shopping and just spend the night in this park. It says I'm allowed to stay one night in the parking lot. Yeah. Or maybe that's the parking lot. I think that's probably the parking lot. I wonder if adjacent rundown building counts as part of parking lot. I should inspect. So it's been storming, lightning, and thunder and all that for the past hour. Just a little bit of rain. But I'm thinking about hiding under this gazebo tonight. Oh, that was a bright one. Nobody's bothered me yet. My other spot is over there in the trees. There's a decent flat spot over there, but right here is dry. Yeah, glad I waited. Trust those instincts. Alright, yeah, it started raining in earnest. I'm definitely staying under this thing. Yeah, glad I did not head out. Jeebus, it is coming down out there. Man. Wow, this is an intense storm. Day 170. Man, I'm lucky I set up my tent last night. I was here on this gazebo, it's storming, and the wind keeps blowing the rain all the way in here. And I'm just getting freckled with it, you know. But it's enough to get my gear wet. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to cowboy camp. I'm going to set up my tent under this gazebo. But, you know, it makes me stand out like a sore thumb, so I didn't want to do that. But I did it anyway. And as I'm laying here, my tent gets lit up red and blue, and I was like, oh, shit, the cops are here. But no, they pulled over somebody right on the street right over there. So I'm like, okay, well, hell, now I know they're in the neighborhood. They're sitting around talking to each other, you know, just hanging out, doing that thing where one car's facing one way, one car's facing the other way, so they can talk about the guy they just busted or whatnot. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, my tent just starts getting wet. And I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't figure out in my mind what was going on. It turns out the sprinklers came on. And the sprinklers here are those hardcore ones that shoot really far in an arc. Ones. And they're powerful. They get all the way up here on the gazebo from a couple of different, because all of a sudden water's hitting me from this way and then it's hitting me from that way. I couldn't figure out what's going on, man. They don't make the noise, the tick, 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 tick noise, you know, they don't make that. It was just straight water hitting my tent, but from all these different angles. So I am so fortunate that I set up my tent, or I would just be soaked and miserable. But those cops pulled over 2 people next to me. One on one side of me was somebody on the main road over there, but never came over and bothered me. I'm assuming they didn't notice me, but lucky me, lucky me. I was like, I'm not going to take down my tent, man. Good thing I didn't. Good thing I didn't. Okay, so it's like 4 a.m. I'm halfway through my cup of coffee and then getting ready to take off before anybody notices me sitting here under my tent. It's cold out, but it's not super cold, so that's groovy. I actually have some hiking to do. Wow, that's weird. It's going to be a bit uncomfortable, though. My clown shoes are hard enough to walk in. They're great for road walking, but anything of, I don't know, anything slightly technical, you know, rocks or whatnot, I'm floundering all over the place. I'm wearing clown shoes, man. These things are size and a half, 2 sizes too big for me. They're rubbing me raw in all sorts of weird places. But, you know, I only have 100 miles left, so we're just going to go for it. I can't afford to buy new shoes at this point. Wouldn't anyway. And I don't think there's any hiker boxes in town. Anyway, finish my coffee. Let's get going. And we're off. Stars are shining beautifully this morning. Nice clear skies. Hopefully it stays that way. This is the last leg of our journey. Too bad the railroads don't lead where I want. I already checked them out because they are abandoned. They've probably been covered up by dirt. But unfortunately, they don't go where I want. They curve north instead of south. Hopefully that was the last rainstorm. I remember this road. This is my yellow blaze from last time. This is where me and my hiking partner got separated from each other, and I wasn't sure where she was. And then I found out she was in this town here. I was walking down the road and I started getting pelted by hail and such. And I was like, well, fuck that, man. It's only 3 miles of road walking. So I guess I'm technically closing up that gap. Oh, I do remember this went through snow and stuff. I mean, there's not going to be snow now. There better not be. There's actually a snow cat stuck up in the pass. I don't know how you get a big old snow cat stuck, but yeah, I made coffee in that bad boy. It's the little things you remember. I remember this little house because it's really close to the road and it has a nice exposed porch. And it wasn't long after that I started getting hit by hail, and I thought, man, I really should turn around and just go sit on that porch. But it's hard to turn around, especially when you know you're only a couple miles. And then after that, I was like, fuck it, I'm putting my thumb out. This is a busy enough road. Water is so close but so inaccessible. Thorn bushes and barbed wire fence. Hoping that I get access to it eventually. I finally got access. I'm only carrying 2 liters out. There's no water drops on the map at all for the next, I don't know, more than a day. But it crosses tons of blue lines.
So I'm hoping that means there's so much water they didn't feel like listing it. Because there's nothing in the comments on, the icons in there. I checked a couple in the beginning talking about a long water haul or anything. So I'm going to assume that there's just water to be had. Oh, cool. Sign says pavement ends. Good thing. This thing started yelling at me. Doesn't seem very wide, but it has some bass to it. I've been going up this hill for, I don't know, 3 miles, maybe a little more. Keep thinking I'm near the top, but then it switches back another way, but it's not real steep by any means, just persistent. But if there is a storm, I prefer to be going downhill. These are not the best of trees for hiding under in a rainstorm either. They do not block rain for crap. Be a good pine tree. There's a few scattered here and there. I just realized why there's no water symbols anywhere. They don't want you to drink the water. They mined the hell out of the place, and the water's poisonous, melts nails and stuff. I do remember this from last time. I just didn't know where it was. Actually, I think it's that big mountain over there. It was all funny colored, looked like it'd been mined. I'm probably going to end up drinking it though. It's like a super long stretch without water, and I was not prepared. But I've done way worse things to myself. Ah, it's raining over there. Yeah, spinner just starting to change. It's only 3 o'clock, but I've set up camp. The temperature has severely dropped. As I was setting up, I was thinking, man, it feels cold enough to snow. And it started snowing a little bit. Well, little ice chunks were falling from the sky. Not hail, though. Snow. It's little babies, though. So yeah, I'm gonna chill here. But the problem is, I don't have water. I've got 3/4 of a liter, but I gotta cook dinner, drink, and make coffee. 3/4 does not cover that, so I don't know where my next water is. It's just not on the map forever, so yeah, gonna wing it as usual. Seems every time I hide in my tent from a storm, though, I don't have any water. I don't know how to remedy that situation because I don't know when I'm going to have to randomly set up from a storm. But after seeing what happened last night, because that was supposed to be just a little thing according to the radar, that was supposed to go from 4 to maybe 6, and then after that was supposed to be nice. But no, man, it kept going, and it got pretty bad. Super glad I wasn't out in that. That was sideways rain. So, yeah, just in case, man, temperature started dropping and, a little bit of stuff started falling. I was like, that was more than enough for me to call it. I'm a fair weather hiker. Well, it's only minimal snow right now. But yeah, definitely snowing. So I started reading through all the comments, and it turns out in another 6 or so miles there's water. So I'll just have to suffer through that. I'll do it in the dark. I don't drink a whole lot in the dark. But I'm not going to have morning coffee till then. Boo-hoo. And who knows what it looks like at that mark. There's not a mark on the map for people to update the water. I'm reading a comment from a year or so ago. But it's been wet.
Day 171. Man. I'd say I just slept for 14 hours, but I wasn't asleep for most of it. It was a very uncomfortable night. For some reason, the ground here is way colder than the ground has been. So I'm trying to sleep on this tiny mat, all curled up in the fetal position on it, freezing my ass off all night, waking up over and over. But, technically I did sleep a very long time. Got a dehydration headache going on. I'm having a half a cup of coffee and saving the other half of my water until I find water. Seems the best idea. There's supposed to be water in another 6 miles, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Cold. I am hungry too. Oh man, but you can't cook dinner if you don't have water. Well, I could have cooked dinner. I had just enough to cook dinner, but then I would have been really thirsty right now, so figured this was the better option. Did not make it as far as I wanted to yesterday, only 19 miles. I was trying to make it a bit farther, but I punked out. I don't even think it actually stormed much. I was awake for maybe a half hour in here. Light snow, a little bit of grauple, and then I was out. And since I don't see any white built up around me, I'm assuming it didn't storm. I should have just kept walking, but I don't want to get cold and wet. That's what the gist of it is. All right, making my half a cup of coffee, and let's go find some water, man. And we're off. Everything is frozen solid. It looks like a winter wonderland out here. Everything's all sparkling. At least there's stars. So maybe it won't rain or snow again until 4 or 5 o'clock tonight. Seems to be an every damn day kind of thing. Annoyingly enough. Okay, let's go see if we can find water before we die. Oh, it's just so sparkly out here, man. Everything is coated in a fine layer of ice. It's beautiful. Ooh, what are these? I hear them humming and they're in cages. Oh, natural gas. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Oh, can't wait for the sun to come up. Oh, groovy. Flowing water. Was not expecting that. Even a tube it's running through, making it easy to collect. Man, it's cold. Squeezing water like a commoner sucks. Gravity is totally the way to go. That stuff was cold. Luckily, Suzanne Summers sold me on the Thigh Master years ago, so I just jammed that bad boy up in my thighs and just squeezed. Couldn't put my all into it, you know, I'd pop the bag. Those things are kind of delicate. But yeah, it's time consuming. Technically, it's faster than gravity, but the fact that you're stuck there with it, you know, I can't do anything else. You know, I can hang my bag, go take a dump, sit on my rump, whatever. I got options. The crunch is not quite rocks. It's rocks that are slightly lifted by hoar's frost. A little bit of ice in there. It's crunchy even when it's not rocks. Lots of footprints out here. Just cow, for the most part. It's not as freezing as it was already. Sun's not even up yet. And I'm still headed up. Right, ground's still frozen, that's just dirt at this point. You can see some patches of it. Too cold for my blood, man. Never have I, because just a little bit ago, I was hiking and thinking, yeah, I'm almost done every step till I can leave and get the hell out of here. And I just have never felt like that on a hike. I got things to do, man, other than freeze. Oh, here's a good example of the ice I'm talking about. Ooh. It just extrudes out of the ground and lifts all the little rocks with it. Little hairs of ice. It does make a delightful crunchy noise though. I've never seen it before till I moved to Virginia. Most places in Arizona probably never get this stuff. This is what ice looks like when it's frozen over nothing. Generally, if it's all milky like this, it's pretty much hollow. It's like it froze when it was a full puddle and then it just got absorbed into the soil.
Ran into these hunters. They have the same story everybody else does. Pretty much haven't seen anything yet. You would think if it was such a bad year, because everybody's talking about this big freeze that killed off a good chunk of them. But you would think that they wouldn't issue so many permits or licenses. They should give those men their money back. Let the population go for a couple of years, then come back out. Oh, no wonder I feel like I've been just going up. I mean, town is way down there. Checked its elevation versus mine. I've gone over 4,000 feet since yesterday. Yesterday in town. I've been going downhill for a couple weeks now. That's the way to go. I haven't checked into my future, but I'd like to hope that this is the last time I'm getting near 12,000 feet. That's the first of those I've seen. I'm guessing a ceramic disc to stop electrical discharge from going all the way down to starting a fire. It's the only thing that makes sense. That rock is barely hanging on. Nuts. Huge rock on a tiny pedestal. I have just a touch of service up here. I was able to get today's forecast, but I'm having a hard time getting the 10-day out of it. But down there in Del Norte, it's 32, but it feels like 26. I don't know what it is up here, but definitely colder than 32. I'll stand here for a minute, see if I can get a 10-day forecast, because it says it's supposed to start raining, high chance at 5 a.m. I want to see how long that goes on for. Is that the kind of thing you hide from, or do you wake up really early and just hike through rain? Because it's going to be an all-day event. I see more than a few inches on a bunch of them mountains out there. Oh, we are into the mine area. You see that mountain's just been chewed up over there. Oh, you can't see it because it's behind trees, but I saw it. There is plenty of water running off of it. I can hear it down there. I remember there being a sign up last time saying that it melts nails in a certain amount of time. It was like a couple months or something. It's iron nails, not fingernails. Practice all his fingernails much quicker. Oh, that water looks tasty. Very orange. Ooh, look at the water that's leaking out of it. Very milky. Summitville Mine Superfund site. Hazardous materials and unsafe conditions exist. Do not enter. So I guess that water's off limits too. Oh, I'm guessing that's tailings up there, yeah. By the way, it's stacked. Sun's been up for hours. It's like 10 o'clock and there's still frost on things. As long as they're in the shadows, at least. Doesn't feel that cold. But I guess it is. I'm hoping this is far enough away to where I don't get poisoned, but I need water. And it looks clean. Since I didn't get dinner last night, I'm gonna have dinner for lunch. Not really craving it, but man, can I use some calories. Got my water filtered. It looks as clear as can be. Tasted fine. I'm assuming I'm far enough away from that mountain that they're mining. Guess I'll find out when I grow a third eye or something. Man, temperature just dropped a bunch. According to the comments, there might be a cafe up here that serves burgers. I would eat a burger. It's about 6 miles away and it's 2:20 right now, so it's unlikely that I'll make it there in time. But if I do, I'm buying me a burger. Unless it's outrageously priced. In hands. I'm cheating. I've already walked this before, man, and I want a burger, so I was like, hey man, you guys, well, I know they're headed that way, but I'm like, can you jump me off at the burger? They knew what it was, so maybe they're even headed there. I don't know. But hell yeah, I was sick of walking uphill anyway. Well, that was not a bad burger at all. I was in and out, probably 20 minutes or so. I was hungry. Only 14 bucks for a burger and fries. That's not bad at all. In another 5 miles, there's a campground. Don't know if I'm gonna make it, but that's what I'm shooting for. It's always nice to be going in the same direction as the water. More often than not on these hikes, you find yourself going in the opposite. And that is good water. I dumped out the water I had. It did have a pretty acidic taste to it. And I got this stuff, and this stuff tastes great. I only drank a half liter of the other stuff, not enough to kill me, but enough to get me where I was going. Home sweet home, and not soon enough. There was water flowing off of this mountain here, so I collected 3 liters of it a little bit ago. Even though this follows a river, you never know how close you are to the river. Sometimes you gotta walk down a cliff to get your water. So when there's like a mile or less to go and I see good water coming out of the other side of the mountain, easy to collect, that's what I'm going for. $20 to camp? Oh no, I don't think so, man. I definitely don't think so. Well, I'm still gonna camp. And if they don't like me doing it here, there's flat spots right over there across the street. Ooh, nice. I want that one right there. In looking at the map, tonight is the last night I have to stay out here. Yay. It's about 15 miles to the road, and then I can hitch into Chama. I'll probably be staying in that little house that I found last time. Seems the logical place. And I hear there's a free bus out of Chama to Santa Fe. I'm not sure how much a bus ticket home is. I've, rather limited resources, but I have slightly more than $100. I'm hoping that's enough to get a bus ticket home. Yeah, we'll see. If not, this will work. But a bus would just be more direct. Oh, it is nice. This is my last night out in the wilderness. Oh, I am so pleased. I'm weary, man. I'm just tired of being out here. Ready to be done. Go somewhere warm, like an Arizona winter. I can't wait. It's going to be like 40 degrees warmer there instantly. Okay, so I got a little bit of water to filter, and then I'm going to sleep. Manana.